All right, and we are live. And welcome everybody to episode 7. I am your host Marcus alongside Sean. In today's episode, we are talking about building the dream and what exactly does it take to build your dream. So, Sean, how are you doing today, my man?
I am actually pretty excited. We haven't been on here a month, ready to talk to these people, talk to everybody, and get it started. How you doing, though, brother?
Good, man. I'm tired. I'm excited. I like doing these shows, man. I like just talking about stuff in general, about
Yeah,
building the business, building the dream, and proving ourselves like off camera, just talking about the randomness of working out and building our mindsets and all that stuff is it's always fun, man.
it definitely is.
But I know that coffee must be included, and also the sleep that we talked about off camera.
That's key, though.
The sleep is definitely needed. I've been bad about that lately, man. We talked about this a couple of other different times, but you get caught up in doing stuff, especially if you're like researching something and
Mhm.
you
It's
go
easier.
into like the late hours and you're like, damn, I need to go to sleep.
The time. It's funny how the time will just fly. Like you won't even know 3 hours will be gone.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I know, even like with the stock market stuff, man, it's just there's like so much, especially like with everything going on, that it like trying to figure out what is going on, and just in the news and trying to read up on other stuff, and it's a lot of work, man. But today we're talking about building that dream, man.
Yeah.
What does it take?
Building a dream is definitely going to take vision, some perseverance, and doing.
I'm gonna make that bold and perseverance. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
perseverance. That's the biggest thing, man. Like one of them in discipline, you have to be
Yeah,
disciplined. You have to be willing to do the same thing over and over, even when you don't feel or quote unquote see the light at the end of the road in a sense. You
yeah,
know, that's what the plan comes in at. I mean, even though we know plans will always have to be tweaked, but you have to have some kind of guideline of what you're gonna go through and what you're gonna do. Well, not what you're gonna go through, but what's the end goal.
yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things, I was talking to somebody about this. One of the biggest things that can really knock us down is because we start off real motivated because we're thinking about the long term goal, the end game. So we like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do this. And then we forget that we had to learn how to celebrate our short terms and walk through those day by days to get to that long term. And one of the things I know for me, which helps me stay motivated, looking towards the long term goal, is sometimes just sitting back and being thankful for the things that I have accomplished, or just knowing that you have to take things day by day. It's like a workout plan. Or if you want to lose, we're not going to lose 100 pounds in one day.
Yeah.
So you're not. Let's stop trying to kill ourselves to try to get everything in one day. Let's break it up. You have a plan. You feel less overwhelmed. And I'm speaking from like that one is highly experienced because I've experienced that a lot, and it can break you down. It makes you feel like, damn, I'm doing all this for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, because you're not getting what you want.
Well, that's it too. I think it originally, like when you start out anything, right? Like not just building your dream, but trying to lose 100 pounds or whatever it is. Like if you have never done it, like it is hard because you don't have any kind of reference point, right? So, and this is where that whole trust the process and everything, and
Yeah,
being disciplined, and
yeah.
it is hard initially, but once you
It's a
can,
catchy phrase, right? But it's a lot of meaning into that. Trust the process. Enjoy the process. You know what I mean?
yeah, enjoying, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've talked about a lot too. Is is like enjoying the process, because like you do have that destination, but like it changes, right? Like if you have other experiences and stuff, you're like, okay, well, I want to do this. This is more of a priority for me or whatever. But it's enjoying it along the way, right? And tweaking and everything. And even though it seems like a lot of work, right? Us talking about it seems like a lot of work, but it's all about life, right? And the whole philosophy of life. And And but keeping the discipline is definitely something you need to focus on, and going through the mundane stuff each and every day. It's like I always have, you know, you have that regimented part of your day that's like, okay, these are like the core things I got to get done today, and you knock it out. And you know, kind of building off of what you said, you know, you have to bring your best every day. And I know you do this very well, and your best isn't always the greatest, right?
Right.
It's as long as it's your best for that day. And that's ultimately what it is, right? And understanding that your best, as long as you're trying to bring your best every day, yes, it's not going to be the greatest sometimes. Sometimes it'll be really good. Sometimes it'll be really bad. But as long as you're trying to bring the best, and I think that's ultimately it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I definitely agree. It's like people who have a lazy mindset sometimes, they look for excuses and they look for, you know, why they can't. People who work hard, you ever notice they always seem like they're just not there. It's just not quite right. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's,
a little off.
yeah. It's there, man. So like I can identify that really heavy because that's actually something that I deal with daily. Like honestly, like I think I have a lot of compassion for people like that. Like just cause I deal with it. You know what I mean? That's something I have to deal with myself on a regular. I think that in very independent people sometimes it's not even that we don't want to ask for help. I think sometimes we don't know how to. We don't our initial thought is not to say, hey, what's the initial thought is like, get it done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and I'm learning that more and more to even like try to use my circle more, feed off their energy. People, I think the phrase has been thrown out there, and it can be used negatively, right? Like you'll hear people say, "I don't want to be used. I don't care about being used, bro." Like everybody gets used. Use me, don't abuse me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody gets used. Like if you're being used, you must be an asset. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, uh, I feel like that's I now when somebody abuses that, that's a whole different ball game. You know. But like I said, I think it's just like basically finding it, sticking to the plan. Um, Also, you know, you get what you put in. So I think it's a big thing too. Sometimes is just to tell other people. That's the thing. I think that's one of the key things. That might seem weird or off, but just when you see somebody doing good, if you can, if it's in your mind, your heart, tell them they're doing good. Because
Yeah, that
you're gonna
definitely
need that
helps.
coming back to you for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, pay it forward and eventually it come back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just really noticed that. I noticed even like, you know, you're talking about trying to maintain this stuff, like even for myself, and something I've been kind of struggling because I know initially, like I had a lot of motivation, and then like even for myself, it's like, you know, again, life happens. You know, stuff's going to come in your life, and so you're trying to maintain this dream and build out this dream. So you're also trying to deal with life at the same time, and
Yeah.
so in doing this, right, it can be exhausting, and even like for myself, like I know like my Instagram and stuff. I've like been kind of messing with it to kind of see like what works because it felt like it was stalling. And so
Mhm.
I've like been focusing a little bit more on TikTok and doing videos like that, and doing a different kind of format, and seeing like my TikTok is starting to grow a little bit faster, and that's kind of helping with Instagram. It seems like it's helping Instagram kind of move a little bit more, just because it's a little bit more different and being said. But then like I try to like use that same format on like LinkedIn, and it doesn't work. So it's like it's a different kind of concept. So it's just um, it's all about just keep pushing forward, always trying to like it's talked about, like trying to do bring your best every single day, and then a lot of times not being there's a difference between being productive and just being busy, right?
Yes.
And
But
I find a lot. Go
that's
ahead.
the learning curve you're talking about. Like with all of
Yeah.
us, you know, that's the learning curve right there. Because, like you said, if we don't have nobody like mentoring us through it, sometimes we will be busy. I mean, it
Hmm.
happens. We'll be busy. We'll be busy as hell, and
Yeah.
not really going anywhere. But it happens, right? It's one of them things. Nothing's perfect. It's funny you say that. Like, I'm telling you, it's like running a business and living out your dreams sometimes for me it's like working my legs. The reason I'm gonna tell you why I say
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why I
that's
say that.
that's a good example. Yeah.
Because me and legs have a love-hate relationship. I never wanted to be top heavy and have no legs, so I work my legs really hard. But when I'm working my upper body, I see the instant pump. So I see some muscle, so it motivates me. I see it, right? Sometimes running a business is like the legs because I don't see like when I'm working them, I'm not looking and flexing them and stuff like that. So it's just like, damn, I'm tired. this this
Yeah.
this leg work is it's kicking my ass, and I'm just tired, man. I want to stop, but then you'll see your progress and what's going on and things like that. So running a business, even though I'm cutting that part short, it's just like it's like working my legs, man. You have to just push. It's like the hardest thing to do sometimes, but it's just steadily like that constant grind, and then also the biggest thing I think is giving yourself a break because it's hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to
but
give
see
a
that's hard, like with
break.
us, because it's like, man, I've been trying to really work on that, and I've like purposely like try to like every other day like try to do something that is not like educational. It's not like pounding my body or my mind or something like that. Doing something exhausting myself, right? And so I try to like be taking these breaks and doing other things, and even if it's like getting out and walking, just doing something else. Because I've been wanting to do more, like especially because it's getting nice out, that I wanted to go out and hiking and do more of that. It's like this weekend was a good example. Like I wanted to go out, given like I have kids and they have all these different
Yeah.
practices and stuff, so it's kind of hard to work around that because it takes up a good majority of your day. But it's like I would like to go hiking, and it's like I want to go this weekend. It's like I don't have any time this weekend. Like this whole weekend is jam packed, right? It's like, okay, well I'll do it next weekend. And so it's like really finding that time for yourself. And yes, I could do work while I'm out there too, right? I could hike and I could do videos and stuff like that, which I've thought about doing. And more, I started to kind of do that, and I want to continue to do that. But ultimately, make it a little. If you're still trying to build it out, right? Like try to make it fun, right?
So everybody
Incorporate new
likes it, and it's
things.
funny. Hey, now people can hold us to that.
Yeah.
Hate throwing something out there, but we're going to do some. We're going to go hiking. We're going to get some video of us hiking. I said it. We're going to do it. I didn't give a date, but hopefully it's soon, right?
Hey, another week, another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Be open. I'm down. Let's roll.
I'm down. And you know what's funny? Sometimes we find the best things when we're not trying to work. It's because we're relaxed. I was watching a movie. I had a question, and I was like, man, why is it that some people always have to be at odds with somebody? And that,
Yeah.
like, why is it like that? And I was watching a movie, and he didn't say exactly this, but they put it together. It was just watching a movie, just relaxing. And he was saying why countries go to war. He said, countries have to go to war for the people inside the country to come together. Because that's the only way they have peace,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, dang, that's why some people have to always be at odds with other people because that's the way that they feel, quote unquote, inner peace. Because if they're not at odds with people, they have to deal with themselves. And that's one of the things that we're dealing with entrepreneur wise is that we're we have to be careful to not chase everything because I believe that in this world we're all a bunch of broken people, right? Like we all got things and things need to be fixed and stuff like that. But let's not treat it like that bad relationship where we're just trying to please somebody and we forget ourselves. Don't let the business make you a whole totally person that's not you. That's bad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We
Yeah.
got parts
Definitely.
of us that people really want to see, and or parts of us that's in us that we're supposed to share to help other people. So that's the part I'm working on me personally, just to take some relax. That's why I say the hiking trip that'll be dope, bro.
That'd be
Hopefully,
fun.
I have never went hiking before. Hopefully, you don't take me on an 80-mile hike.
Yeah, hopefully, bobcats are nothing good.
Yeah, see, I grew up in the city. You say a bobcat?
No, but I agree with that. Like, I think a lot of people, this is something else. I think, right? Like, there's this whole misconception about like, you're not supposed to think yourself because that's selfish, right? And I think we have that implanted in ourselves, and which is not good because you should look after yourself. You should be doing stuff for yourself, and you have this subconscious thought that, well, if I start thinking about myself, then I'm guilty of something.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, when you talk about going to war and stuff like that, and you always, it's better, you can gather people with a focus on some. This is something I've learned about through essentially marketing, right? Is finding that goal, essentially that enemy, right? Like if you can have a like-minded enemy, right, it pulls people together faster.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, and so like it's finding that, and having that thing to focus on and help driven. Like if you all are going through something, right? Maybe it's divorce, and so you have the thing that's common. So you have essentially that enemy, right? Is the struggle of going through that. So you all have that like-minded thing. So you focus on that and creating yourself and bettering yourself, to improve your life, right? Because of the dramatic event that has essentially occurred. Not, I say dramatic event, right? But it's becoming more common. But I mean, there's a lot
It's
of
still dramatic, bro. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's rough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I only say that because I've seen it so much on social media and with relationships, and I mean that's a whole other topic. And I mean, it's hard, right? We're talking about building dreams here, and then I'm swinging it towards crushing dreams here, but I mean, it's just one of those things, it's just trying to just focus on the right things and for yourself, right? Not taking self first is always been extremely important. Something that I talk about a lot, and how important it is to not feel guilty. And even for me, it's a struggle to not feel guilty to do something for myself. And because I thought about, hey, for my birthday I should get a tattoo and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, why the hell would you do that? Like right? And I think of all these reasons what better use it could go for my kids for something else, and all these other different things. And so I try to I
So
always gotta like put that in check.
If people didn't know, we Zodiac twins, and I think we struggle with the same things. I turned 41, and I really didn't do anything, bro. Like,
yeah, people were like, "You're 40, you're like a big 4-0. You do anything?" I'm like, "Nope, it's just another day."
I'm thinking it though. Next year, it's gonna be different. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make it my business because honestly, that's if I want to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I think I do. How can we really fully help people if we're not really helping ourselves?
Yeah.
We need to recharge. I think that's a big thing too in following your dreams. Setting deadlines, of course, celebrating when you meet those goals to that deadline, but then that's your break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take that break. The big perseverance thing again is like knowing. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you're gonna go through. I feel like, look, this is the time to use it. You're gonna go through shit. You're gonna go through stuff, man. But the key word is you can go through it. You don't have to stop at it. You can go through it. Having a good, if you have that support line, use it. Use it for real. Like don't sit there and be going. Don't sit on the side of the road with a flat tire and your car not working when you have a friend that has a daggone tow truck that has no problem coming to get you. Don't do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Let's just go ahead and really and know that we can accomplish anything that we actually set our minds to. And I used to hear that all the time, but I get it because you got to set your mind to it. You can't just think about it.
Yeah.
You got to set your mind to it and go to it. Go through it. Go to it. There's nothing to stop you. I think like some of the most successful people, they succeed when they sold out, in a sense, when I say sold out, like they already knew that's what they was going to do. It was nothing else left, and this is what they did. You know what I mean? See, sometimes we waver too much in following a dream. If this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be, not saying you have to be like that, but if that's what it is, and that's what you got, you better follow through that. You're gonna sink or swim. You know.
What's that thing, that quote that when they asked Elon, right? I think Elon said something like, being an entrepreneur is what, staring into the abyss and chewing on glass or something like that.
Damn right.
Because you don't know what's going to happen. But you have to be able to just tolerate the storms that come along the way, right? Like if you really want, and it's like anything, if you really want it, there's always a toll to get there, right? Like it's not, and it's, do you really want it or do you not want it? And that's something else I've been really thinking about is that whole concept about burning the ships, right? And don't give yourself a second out, right? Have only that one out. And I know Arnold Schwarzenegger has talked about this. There's a couple of people that have talked about this concept. Essentially, I think it was off of some particular story about I don't recall. I think it was back in not ancient Egypt, but I can't even think right now. My brain's dead. But the concept that anything you go into it, right, that you don't have a plan B. If it's plan A, it's essentially do or die, right? Like you go into it with that mentality that you're going to make it work no matter what happens, and be okay with that. And like you stated before, right? Like a lot of, when you talk about entrepreneurs, people are like, well, why would you do that? Why would you put so much stress on yourself? And it's like, well, I don't want to live a life, that's essentially just grinding away and giving my life away, because especially at our age, right? Like we don't know. We're at that age where your kid dropped dead tomorrow, right? Like you don't know. And so it's like, I'd rather be doing something I enjoy than spending 8 hours of work doing something that, I dread going to work. And man, I didn't like those long drives to work, right? And getting there and just going through the task, and you see everybody struggle with that, and understanding, well, to build that dream, again, you're going to have to tolerate a lot more to be able to achieve it.
And then believe in yourself, man. Like, it's a difference between just being arrogant and being confident, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
You gotta tell yourself, I'm unstoppable. Only person that can stop me is me. And sometimes you may have to look in the mirror and tell yourself that. Like, it's nothing. Listen, if you let anybody stop you, it's an excuse.
Yeah.
You get it. You let them do it. And if you're a fighter, you don't just do that. You know what I mean? You don't just do that.
Yeah, it's a good concept, because I mean, even you have to have the confidence in yourself, right? Because if you don't, you will get crushed.
Yep.
And it's like anything, and that's what even when I'm like trading, like I trade with like a group of people, and you could tell like they're like, it's life in general is that way. But when you're talking about like trading, if you don't have any confidence, you get crushed fast. And I'm talking matters of seconds here, where you're talking, something like life in general. Yeah, you have a little bit more leeway there, but ultimately understand that it's not an arrogance of it. It's understanding, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm okay if I get hit and knocked down, because I know what I have to do is hurry up and get right back up and look for the next play, right? Is ultimately what you're doing. Okay, well, I messed up here. That's okay, right? You try to limit the hit, right? You get hit, okay, well, let me not get whatever I can do to prevent the hit from being too bad, and then move to the next thing, right? And so that's ultimately what it's about. And
go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, even it goes back to uncertainty and stuff like that, and not knowing, and that it's a different perspective completely. And I know a lot of people, they probably don't want to be entrepreneurs. I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, it's just in general, I think an entrepreneur is just a bigger scale of smaller struggles you go through in life, right? I think that's what it is. I think that's like the ultimate scale of self-development, right? Is becoming an entrepreneur and having total control over everything, where you have smaller scale things like just getting control of your weight, or just getting control of your job or career or whatever it is, your family, right? They're just smaller scales of things. It's not really smaller scale, but when you're talking about the grand scheme, the ultimate scale of things where everything is a bigger blow, you start talking about the entrepreneurial realm, which can be overwhelming for a lot of people. And even for
they're all big, bro. The thing is,
yeah,
because they most of the time they're scary to people. You know what I mean? And they've tried and they feel like they can't. And then they need, it's all a big thing like life. Because in life you got to be able to take a hit, get back up. Because now you're gonna sink. You lose a job. People lose jobs. COVID hit. You know what I mean? That was like, damn. You know what I mean? And some people with COVID hit, they gained weight. Some people lost jobs, and now they got to try to recover. But then the rhythm's thrown off. How do you recover? Losing weight, I deal with that a lot. Sometimes it's such a up and down momentum and feeling of it to the point that since it's not quote unquote life or death right in your face that you think, like that they may think, they can give up real quick. I believe like with anything, we just have to see it through. You just got to go through it. Like you get what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like. It's like I believe that we all can do the things that we set out to do, especially if we got the right mind frame and the right company. We can do it. Like, and we can stay in our lanes. That's why you have different friends and stuff that do different things. Like you spend a lot of energy in the stock market, right? I don't spend a lot of energy in the stock market, but
yeah,
I do. I've learned a lot. But if I have a real deep question, I'll call you because I'm focused on other things. Same thing with you. So like it's like we can divvy up our energy. Just making it simple since I'm a trainer. Like if you had a real thing and you like, man, I'm trying to figure this out, at least let me call Sean and see exactly what his thoughts. Not saying I know everything. No, none of us know everything, right? But this is where I spend a lot of time at. You know what I mean? So it's just like using your resources. I think that's a big thing in following your dreams. Definitely using your resources. Perseverance. I'm gonna keep saying perseverance because you
got to hammer that one in, man.
yeah, because motivation, honestly, gets you started, right? Consistency and discipline really is going to get you there and keep you there. We can at times still find different motivation from different things, and that's cool. But motivation for me is attached to emotion, a feeling, and feelings go up and down. They can go up and down with the weather, songs, or whatever. So I tell myself, no matter how I feel, I'm going to do what I set out to do. And like I say, you tell yourself you're unstoppable, man. Like, and if anybody around me that doesn't think that way, that's when I control it. They can get away. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's having them again. It comes back to that the whole concept about having the confidence in yourself. And I know a lot of people struggle with that just on a lot of basic things. And that comes to building out, right? Just finding something, building something, right? Just doing something small. Yeah, it helps build the confidence, and then getting. That's why I talked about like the smaller scale stuff, because you need like something smaller. Perhaps you start eating better during the week, right? That's a small win, right? The small wins help build you up, build that confidence up to take on bigger responsibility on things, and challenge you to do more. Especially when you start having that track record of success, right? And so
building your confidence.
Yeah, and you're 110% right. Like you should really be looking at the support, and even for myself, right? Like it's something I've slacked on, like trying to ask for help for other people, for other things, perspectives and stuff like that, to help you to keep that motivation, right? And a lot of times, we started this out and I talked about how tired I was and stuff like that. And sometimes it might just be taking a whole damn day off. Just be like, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything today and just recover. Yeah. And sometimes it's just to reset the mindset works out a lot. For myself, it's really hard for me to say that and then do that because I know. because I could probably go like maybe an hour or two and then be like, okay, maybe not even that long, and be like, well, I can't do this anymore. I got to do something productive. But it's definitely, and that's why it comes down to when you're trying to build a dream, like you really got to have a passion for it. And this is something I heard about. People were talking about this, about how people essentially like us entrepreneurs or people that are trying to do better, they say follow your passion and stuff like that. And a lot of people he was talking about something about how people don't have passion. It's not that easy to find. And it's like, well, you really do need to experience and get out more, right? Like, I don't think you've done enough. And that may sound exhausting, but sometimes you just got to be curious about stuff. And we've lost a big sense of curiosity, when we were like kids and stuff, right? We were extremely curious. Yeah. This is actually something
we played with Army Man though, bro. Our imagination a little bit different. If you sit there like to do this like this the whole time and have a whole look at him like this the whole time, and you played for 45 minutes to an hour with this one man who didn't move.
Was definitely in your imagination he moved. That's all that mattered. But that's definitely it, man. I mean, yeah, we do come from a different generation, and that's it. Is trying to cultivate the curiosity. And curiosity, I mean, define curiosity, right? Like, what is curiosity? Is just you have a thought, an idea that seems interesting, and then go for it, right? Learn a little bit more about it, and go out and do something a little bit more. It's like me, even myself, like we were talking about, improving yourself, building dreams and stuff. And, I talked about going out on hikes and stuff. It's like, man, you just got to make the time, because you're never going to have the time, right? Like, I'll do it. Because I keep telling myself I'll do it next weekend. I have a free weekend. Some things I got to do. I got to do some podcast stuff and stuff like that. And then like it comes around, and then like I feel it, right? Like that busy work, right? Like I start throwing busy work to stuff that has to get done. And so, it's just being mindful of that and saying, what, priority is self first. I need to do this, right? And a lot of times when you do self first, again, it opens up your mind to a lot of different things, right? Going out and being in nature, right? They call it, nature bathing or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it helps, it gives you a different perspective, right? And it slows things down a lot, and it helps open your mind, right? And just to change the scenery really helps in itself. Yeah. And it just gives you that new perspective. And so, yeah, that's something I definitely gotta do.
It's almost sick though, right? At times what we do, it's like we get off on beating ourselves up in a sense. In the gym, tearing yourself up, working hard, brain, running, stress. You know what I'm saying? It's always that push. What about the relax? The body will reward us from that. And also getting back to like getting back to what you were saying, because I've heard that a lot of two people be like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't have a dream. And that's the thing. We have to stop letting people define our happiness. We're talking about entrepreneurship. That's what we like to do.
Yeah.
Somebody else might like something. They might want to grow their garden to the biggest garden. They might want to get a certain promotion at their job. That's their happiness. Like, I think we have to stop letting people define what should make us happy. Because if we're doing that, we're not going to be happy. We're just doing something that somebody else told us to do. You know what I mean?
I think it's very important, I think, for everybody, right? Because I think we've talked about this too a couple of different times, where you define what your happiness is, right? You're the only one that knows what will make you happy. You're the only one that knows what you're going to be passionate about. And I guess it's really defining what is passion, right? How do you define passion for something? It's really something that we talk about, right? Like we talk about losing track of time, right? Like if you're doing something, you just lose track of time, but you're excited to do it. And for what may seem like work to others is not work for you, right? Like you enjoy it. Like I get lost in stock market stuff, and I go hours and hours and hours, going on Twitter, researching stuff and looking at charts and doing all this stuff. And, I could do that for hours on end and it wouldn't bother me. Right. And so that I think is what is passion. And I can say the same for working out, right? To an extent, because you do get tired, but I do enjoy it, right? Not all the time, but I do enjoy going and working out. And I like the results, the way I feel, I like the way I look because of it. And, And so I have a passion for that too. So again, defining passion can be different for, I think, everybody. It kind of follows some of the basic constructs, but I think ultimately, I think it's really how you define it.
And then, like you said, it's just getting better at your craft too. Because, like you said, you're passionate, so you're seeking more knowledge, information. You know, that's the thing. Like even for fitness, like you're always trying to become better. Whether see people in fitness, when people think about fitness, they think it's just in the gym. But if you're a trainer and you're doing, lifestyle changes and stuff like that, you do study a lot of scientific things and things like how the anatomy in the body. And I mean, you should. I mean, first you get your basic CP training, and then you pick up more credentials and stuff. But then you say, "Dang, okay, I know all this stuff. I need to study some kind of psychology too. I need to know what makes people want to do. How do
Yeah.
I get to? How do I get through certain different personality types? Because that's the next level for me. That's just that's always the next level is knowing what can get a person to want to do, and then what can get a person to want to do something when they don't want to do something. It's just always you're always just trying to get better, right? But I'm imagining like just sometimes, like for instance, hiking. Shit. I mean, we go out there, make some videos, shoot, have some fun. Um, as a trainer, I would say it's always pressure, right? Like we was talking about off camera, like I feel like I always got to be in shape. And
Yeah.
somebody watching now might be like, "Well, you're supposed to." Yeah, thank you, for the
Yeah.
thank you for the pressure. I appreciate it, but all pressure ain't bad. You either can be gold or nothing, I guess. But that's the thing. Like you said, it's all or nothing, and perseverance again. I'm trying to use that psychology. Just keep saying it, because just know and know that when you're going through, you're not the only person that's gone through that will go through, and it's always a different level. But I feel like when you get used to meeting certain things and beating certain things, it gives you a confidence level to beat the next thing. Because
Yeah.
it's like taking on the challenge, man. It's something about taking on the challenge, and it's just controlling. Another thing too, I believe this, and it's controlling your emotion. When I say emotion, I ain't talking about like acting crazy. Just how you feel. You got to kind of be steady. You got to kind of be steady. You got to know that I set out to do this. I'm supposed to do this. I got a deadline of this. Let's do it. But then life is gonna pop up. Something's gonna happen. It happens all the time, and then you got to figure out a way of how to manage that. And I feel like that's creating. I always say that for me, it's creating for me to be a better CEO and manager of time and people. Because now I got to manage more things, and then you have a family. Just because you're frustrated, we that would be like assholish to take it out and yell at the kids because what we're going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it teaches you to be patient, um, and then I think it's setting us up. I think whenever we go through things, set us up to help other people, help the people that's closest to us because they're watching, and then able to teach and help. We'd be surprised how much we really learn. You know what I mean? Along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think what really helps too is focusing on one thing too, right? I think a lot of times we get uh, carried away and start focusing on a lot of different things. And even for myself, like some new stuff will come up, and it's like, oh, I really want to do that, right? And it's like I really would like to do that, but it's like
I go through it.
I can't. I gotta like focus on one thing and just hammer down on this one thing and can you continue to do that, right? Because like you're saying, like the one thing that you were focused on when you're building that dream is you got to put all your energy, right? You got to have that like CT Fletcher talks about, right? Like you got to have that obsession with that thing. Like you got to be thinking about it day and night, and that's essentially pretty much all you do. Not saying that everything else that we've talked about here is irrelevant, but that it should be a priority over everything else, and then make sure that what you're doing aligns with that, right? And because if you're two different things, and I do talk about like having multiple, not being one dimensional, and having the different aspects, or being a jack of all trade, right? I think you should have some kind of surface level of a lot of different things, and kind of what you're talking about, how, you essentially master how to be a fitness trainer, and then you're kind of branching out to more things, right? Like how do the psychology of people and stuff, because that is important, right? Anything you deal with, you're going to deal with psychology of people and emotion and stuff. And even in the stock market, right? It's all psychology. It's all about fear. It's all about, people's emotions. They come into everything that essentially surrounds us, right? We're guided by fear itself. And so with that being said, it's just being able to focus on that one thing and build it out to where you become a master of that, and understand that you're still going to be doing other things to level up, essentially that mastery of whatever that thing that you are obsessed about.
Yeah. And I mean, especially when you have a passion for the goal is, you just want to, it sets out to, it's not even money. It's just being very good at what you do, helping the most people. You know what I mean? That's what you get stuck in. Like, you don't think about anything else. You just, I know in my profession, it's just like helping as many people as I possibly can. And even with your client rate, you would love for your client rate to be 110%. If that's anything like that. As far as like success rate. So it's always just wanting to get better, being transparent, just letting people know, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? For one thing, I always say, for me, that helped a lot, which I didn't see it, is then when I got hurt and I gained the weight, 260 pounds, I'm like pushing 260 pounds. But with the injury, so trying to come down with that weight was rough. And then, because it used to be that I can just kind of eat whatever I want, as long as I worked out, I was pretty much fine. But it changed. So now I got more capacity. So I understand when somebody might tell me, hey, man, this is hard, or, and I can understand when somebody's BSing too, like, look, I get it. You have to break through this. And what's going to happen, you're going to break through this, you're going to gain some momentum. And then you may hit another plateau. I don't tell them that all at once, but then you might. And that's just like you hit another plateau, but then after after we said, conquered a few of them, you kind of get used to it, and you say, okay, I know, just gonna rework some things. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna maintain my composure, and I'm gonna keep pumping. And I think that's the biggest thing with building any goal, and just knowing always entrepreneurship. When we talk about that, just got to get smarter all the time. You always got to get better, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't have to really, honestly, some people, you don't have to do 20 things. Sometimes you could be really good at a few. You know what I mean? It's people right now that they're just really good at one thing. I'm not saying that's really all that recommended. I'm not saying against it, but they're just really, really good at one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They don't try to do 50 things. A lot of times, if you notice, the people who do a whole bunch of things all at once, they usually don't get anywhere, because they never really get good at anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you're essentially extending yourself, if I could talk, extending yourself too much, and not allowing yourself to gain traction. And it's even like for me, but like even like Discover Ignite and like the trading, it's like I've allowed the training become more of an obsession, because I know that's something that I want to really work even tenfold, right? It's like something I really want to master. And so being said, like, not just that, and then trying to essentially use like Discover Ignite, and a lot of people may not see the correlation, right? Because again, like stock market is a lot of, it's very much to deal with the psychology of people, right? And understanding that, and understanding yourself, and building discipline and stuff through mindset and stuff like that, right? Like you need all those things, the mental capacity to deal with a lot of the stock market stuff,
right.
And understanding that and using that, and realizing, yes, I have to be in shape. Yes, I have to eat well. I have to do meditation because it helps with the other side, right? Like it helps tremendously, and you may not think that, but it does for anything in your life, right? Like the tools and stuff I use for Discover Ignite are essentially what I use apply to the world, right? And they help me come at it with a sharper mindset, with a sharper, essentially, like we talked about, right? Like being your best self every single day. And to be able to optimize that, like you have to, the framework has to be there, right? Like the infrastructure that you set up, that we talk about how, eliminating bad relationships and making sure that everything is essentially aligned with what you're trying to do. Again, if that's involves working out and doing meditation and all these different things to help you try to optimize every single day, right, is ultimately what I'm trying to say here. So that way, when you show up every day, that you're your best self, as best as it can be, right? So you can take advantage of whatever that day is, because sometimes you have the opportunity. It's not saying the opportunity is just, a one shot kind of deal, right? A one hit wonder kind of thing, but you have opportunities every day, and it's just trying to increase that rate of essentially being lucky, right? It's essentially what you're trying to do. And then eventually one day you'll really capitalize on that. It's just being patient, being obsessed with whatever that thing is, building that out, and using the tools. Again, I'm kind of relating to everything that I do, but using the tools that I'm learning to help optimize that. So when that chance comes, I'm ready, and I'm not just like,
ready. Yeah.
Like, oh crap, well, I'm not, I haven't prepared for this and I missed my one shot, right? Because a lot of people will have that, well, I didn't really prepare for this, and then it happens, and then that was my one shot, and that's the end of it. And it's like, no, you got many different shots. It's just making sure you're ready, and then being okay and understand that within time, when your chance is supposed to come, it will come when it's supposed to come, right? It's not going to be there when you want it, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, and then like to make a shot, you gotta be in the game. You know what
That's
I mean?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about being in the game, you can miss a shot too. That's just like, can we deal with that? But when you miss a shot, you still got the opportunity. You're still there. You can, you have Michael Jordan, these basketball players, Kobe Bryant. They'll miss 16 shots and still take the shot, put the game on the line. And when they hit it, guess what? Everybody forgets about everything else.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell myself all the time, just try to stay ready so you don't have to be ready. I know I'm using the word loosely because sometimes it's so hard, like on people, like, man, but truth is, shit, sometimes it's just not that. It's just, you're not feeling it. You have to go through it. I'm jumping around, but you ever notice when you're not feeling it, those are the most rewarding times once you do it.
Yeah. If you can push yourself through it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
realize.
if it's safe, like let's be clear, if it's safe. Sometimes,
Yeah.
if sometimes we're doing things with like I've been there. What you're talking about, we're so tired. Like for real, I've been so tired, and I've made decisions, and then like I'm so tired that I don't even really know what the hell I did the next day or 2 days after prior. I'm like, I don't even know why I did that, like, or what I did. So
Yeah.
having a brain function optimal is a big thing, especially even with dealing with people, because dealing with people it's a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
it's always, you got to kind of be like one up. You got to be above approach in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You got to be above that. And this thing is like, it's funny, man. Like when I hear you say to sleep, I know it. I recognize it. I still deal with it. We even just like we're definitely like, we're on the right path. We just got to keep going. It's one of them things that it's finding a way to work smarter than just harder.
Yeah.
Being busy.
Well, that's like you said, like it comes back to self first, right? Like you should really, like, I mean, I'm talking about this. It's something I have to correct on myself, right? I need to be more disciplined when it is to come to sleep, because I mean, you could study all day, right? But if you're not getting the sleep, you're not able to register that stuff in your brain so you can recall it, right? That's when you actually, you learn something, to retain something. You need the sleep. You need the deep sleep.
Yeah.
If you're not getting that, right, like you can be essentially like a dog chasing its tail, right? Like you're not going to get anywhere because you aren't putting yourself first to allow yourself to benefit from all the studying and all the, remember you're trying to learn a new technique, or you're trying to work out, you're trying to change habits and all these other different things, right? Like you need to allow yourself to get that rest, to allow it to register, so it becomes easier. Yeah. And again, I'm speaking a lot for myself too on this, because again, I let time slip, and I'm not getting as much sleep sometimes as I should be getting, and it's always something I'm having to correct.
It's funny you say that. Like I definitely dealt with that for a while. I'm getting a little better now. But when you get that good sleep, man, it just feels good.
Yeah.
You wake up, you're like, yeah, okay, and you're popping off, pop, 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 pop. You will accomplish so many things within a different time span.
Yeah.
Instead of bragging out and kind of being just like, all right, that's rough. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even with caffeine, it's really rough, because if we'll have so much caffeine that we're up, but we're not. Even with the coffee, we're not really alert. We're just up. We're kind of moving. Yeah, we're just kind of like moving, but we're not.
Yeah, I saw something on like studying too, right? Like there was a study, and one of the guys I follow that does neurology, he was talking about this the other day, about how when you're trying to essentially learn something, and we all like to drink coffee, like you're talking about. We like to drink coffee to hopefully keep us alert, but that doesn't help us, right? He actually says you should try to learn stuff without drinking coffee beforehand, perhaps actually drinking coffee after the fact, but better yet, just sleeping after the fact, taking a nap after you've learned something actually helps retain it better, as opposed to drinking coffee beforehand thinking that's actually going to help you. Because like I said, you get to you're just going through the motion. A lot of times, you can read like 5 different paragraphs and not retain any of it, because your brain is just shot. So, but it's,
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I experienced it, because you keep trying to push, and you like that. I've really got better results when I went to sleep. I always say, like, when I was working at a gym and I was still doing my thing, doing what I do, and I was a youth coach, conditioning coach and all this stuff for this program. When I left that job, my body changed, and you would have thought I did something different. But the only difference was, when I left that job, I got more sleep. Like, I didn't change my workout. I didn't do anything different. I might have worked out a little bit less, but it's just that I had more sleep. And that was weird on the body part. I mean, how the thing is, like you said, these things, like you read them, them. It's something about when you do them and you really, you're really following it. So it's like, in a matter of weeks, my body started really changing, like in weeks. And I didn't do anything extra in the sense how we would think, like work harder. I didn't run more. I didn't eat less. I didn't eat more. I just slept.
Yeah, something else. I read something else about that too, about, I can't remember the book. It was on doing marathons and stuff. And a guy was, I don't remember the exact book it was, but I guess it was one of the top trainers or something when the book was written. And the book was written, I think, probably at this point, probably 6 or 7 years ago now. But it was about, because they have such a rigid schedule, right? Like they have to run like 15 miles like every couple of days, and then they run like speed. They run for speed, so they run shorter distances. And then he had this whole approach, which is completely different from what everybody else taught, that sleep more, and then you run, like you don't run nearly as much, right? You're resting more than you're actually running. And people thought this was like mind blowing, and like, why would you do that? Like you're not going to do it. But apparently, in the book, the guy that was training, it was essentially talking about like his coach and stuff, but like he essentially was able to, I think he ran like a Boston Marathon and all that stuff, and he like crushed it because of his schedule on taking sleep priority over actually training so hard or overtraining, right? Essentially, is what that is.
Yeah, because
But
it matters, because now when you do that, you eliminate all the stress and the cortisone extra buildup and stuff like that. It really matters. And I guess we can relate that to like just following, like, with your dream, like knowing that you're not going to accomplish it all in one day. I wish that you could. If I can accomplish everything I wanted to do and all I had to do was stay up for a week straight, I would be up.
yeah, no
You
kidding.
know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
would not go to sleep. I would have all the caffeine in the world. My eyes probably I put toothpicks if I had to, but it doesn't work like that. Um, I think the biggest thing is optimizing your time with time management. I believe that's just like the biggest thing. Time management, knowing to spend a certain amount of time on certain things. You get more done like that. Like that's why sometimes, a lot of times, training with a trainer or a coach helps you, because they have everything set for you. It's the time. They're pushing you. They got everything. Blah, blah, blah. And you spend an hour with the trainer, but if you go to the gym by yourself to get to get what's going to happen, you may spend 3 hours and still not to get the results. I see it all the
yeah,
time. Damn, I see
yeah. I've
people.
seen that too.
Yeah, you're like, man, like you're working out like a madman. Like you've been in here for a long, and I see you all the time. You work out for a long, super long time.
Yeah,
Is it efficient? No, because if you're really getting in to do 3-4 hours, phew, I mean, I'm I'm not I'm not working out for 3-4 hours, bro. Like,
yeah. No, I've never been that way. I mean, I say
yeah,
that, but I used to run like half marathons quite a bit, and
yeah, but see things like that, yeah, because that's a thing, right? But not in the gym with just the weights and that. No, like
yeah, that's a lot.
bro, you got professional football players. They're in a game. They you got offense and you got defense. So the offense is, especially professional, your offense is resting while the defense is on the field. You know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah,
little league games, they play both sides of the ball with nobody continuously without a break goes for 3-4 hours. And you could, but it wouldn't be productive. It wouldn't. That's like business, right? After a while, we're just doing stuff. It's like what you said. We're just being busy. We're just moving.
yeah, that's true.
We
Yeah,
really nothing going on. We're just doing stuff because we feel like we have to. And I think that's a heck of a balance in itself. Just and then also I think track, like how you talked about before, tracking progress. You know, because then you'll say, okay, I'm doing well here. I need to improve here. It's one of them things. And we already know that you about to make what, 1 million, at least 2 million this year.
I have to see the market has to start moving again, man. The market's been too much
Wow.
chop, but
I'm hoping it's one of them things with the market that it turns on, because there's so many things and events that's going on in the world right now. That's on the market. I see something different. I'm not studying the charts as deep as you, but I see some things that are happening. Like I'm really excited, for real, for real. I'm excited about EVs. I'm really
there's
because
a lot of change coming, man, for sure.
yeah, I'm very excited about it. Just like how they say the banks call it dumb money. With that's what they call it when you got like buyers like us, because they say we sell when things get bad, in a sense,
Mhm.
and they like it. But it was so funny to me to see uh, what happened with the stock market and EVs, how they dropped, and then the gas thing happened, whatever scare that was,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then they're still low, and I'm like, dang, do people? I'm like, are people watching this? Like, they're down. It's the perfect time
yeah,
to collect you some,
yep.
because it's going to hit. I think that's the thing. That's just like with business, we all just want to see things happen at once, and we get scared when we don't see things happening the way that we would like it. Like a person start a new workout regimen, you would think as soon as they start, because sometimes it happens, they just immediately lose weight, but sometimes it doesn't. Some people gain weight, and it's not because muscle weigh more than fat. I keep saying that's not even a thing. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. But now what happens is their bodies, it's a lot of stresses that's going on, and they may start to hold into water, and that's what happens. So there they gain a little bit weight, but if they get a little bit more time, they're going to think, say in 3 weeks, they say, man, I gained 4 pounds, maybe. In 6 weeks, they're going to be like, I lost 10 pounds. I lost 12 pounds. Because now their body's adapting. And I guess it's just how everything, we got to stop waiting for this instant gratification. It's the process. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? But ours is up.
Yeah, most definitely. I would agree with that. But we have hit the hour mark, and we do appreciate everybody listening. I know for, following your dreams, I guess, what would be something you would want to leave? What kind of message would you want to leave for people, Sean?
Follow your dreams, man. The dreams were given to you, not anybody else. So don't be disappointed if the people around you don't necessarily support it, because they'll know when they see it, because that's your dream. Persevere, continue to get better, knowing that you can do anything you set your mind to. You can accomplish. Use your resources, and just really enjoy the process. Enjoy what's going on, man. Knowing that you're just becoming a better person for you and your family. As I said, for you and your family, not for your family and you. Because when you become a better you become a better you for your family, and they become better also. Side note, I gotta say, we talked about follow through the whole time, and this wasn't intentional, no pun intended. But we got these cool shirts where Marcus has his on, Improvement Lounge. Big shout out to Lamont for the follow through. His brand is called Follow Through. That's funny, right? No pun intended.
Nice.
His brand is called Follow Through. He created these shirts for us, man. We appreciate him. This shirt is by Big Frog. I know we're doing free sponsorship, but we want to always show appreciation for everybody. We appreciate you guys for watching. We're looking forward to hearing your input, and also comment on and hitting me or Marcus. Marcus is Discover Ignite, or me at Fifth Elf Plus, or whatever. Or I'm sorry, on the Improvement Lounge page, actually. Hit us up. Let us know some of the things that you guys would like to hear us talk about and things like that. Again, we appreciate y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all again. And look for the videos for the hiking trip.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.